Some of you all are addicted to pornography and masturbation for something that you had absolutely nothing to do with, something that wasn't your fault. And that was because you've been molested as a child and or raped. And it's a sad thing, folks, and I really hate having to talk about it, but it's so true what I'm about to say. And it sort of makes tears well up in my eyes a little bit when I consider the amount of women personally that I know that this is their exact story. And that's the reason why a lot of them are promiscuous or engaged in promiscuity, because it's almost like a cry for help. It's almost like to say, well, I got this special part of me taken away from me by someone that was supposed to protect me, and now I don't trust anyone. I don't trust nobody. So I might as well create my own narrative, and that narrative includes me going out there and having sex on my own terms. And how that relates to pornography, a lot of those young ladies and young men, because that's a dirty little secret that nobody wants to talk about, is men being molested, right? They they watch pornography because they feel in control. I got a special part of me taken away from me as a child. And in many instances, taken away by someone you're supposed to trust, which a lot of the people that have been molested have been molested by relatives. So it's incestual. So I got this special part of me taken away as a child. And so now the way that I empower myself is taking control of my sexuality. And one of those forms of sexuality, one of those things that I do is I engage in pornography. I watch pornography. I listen to pornographic music. I engage in extra salacious conversations, and it's gotten so to the point to where I don't expect a normal man to love me. I don't expect a man to look at me other than just for sex. I don't trust men because the men that I had in my life that I was supposed to trust took from me. And that's a slippery slope. And here's the thing, I don't even trust God, because this God that you say is supposed to love me allowed it to happen. And because these people don't understand free will, folks, they don't understand how we live in a fallen world where the devil, he's the God of this world. They get to a point to where porn or pornography is a cry for help. Even people that are literally porn stars, they're getting into it as a cry for help. And I say that because one of the ways that I truly overcame porn is when I realized what a lot of those young ladies that were in porn were going through. A lot of these women came from broken homes and all kinds of crazy situations where one parent was a drug addict and the dad may have had sex with them. Just all kinds of twisted stuff that they never should have went through, right? And here I am looking at you on TV, and I'm getting off on a woman who's like that because more than likely she was abused as a child. And it made me feel dirty. It made me feel bad that I'm getting my rocks off on a woman who 9 times out of 10 was raped as a child. 9 times out of 10, she was molested. She was told that she wasn't beautiful. She was taken advantage of sexually. And here I am co-signing the behavior because I am watching this woman perform sexually on screen for my entertainment. Now, none of you all, and I hope, would in your right mind co-sign molestation, would co-sign rape. But for me, when I noticed that a lot of those young ladies have been sexually trafficked, I can't say the word for anything. They're victims of human trafficking, sexually trafficked. A lot of those young ladies have been raped and molested. It gave me a sense of mercy. Now, some of you guys are like, man, I don't care, man. I just want to get my rocks off, and I ain't thinking about none of that. Them HOEs can do what they know what they doing. That's on you, man. That's on you. You do whatever you feel like you got to do for you. But for me and most people that I know, they feel bad about that, man. You hate to hear about how these girls were molested and raped. And some of these guys, man, they may have been molested and raped. So much so that acting out sexually has become the norm. See, pornography is the manifestation of trauma. And many times that trauma happens in our childhood. Pornography is a cry for help. Because no one normal would engage in pornography, would literally say to themselves that I want to be looked at as an object of desire. Yes, we know about the Jezebel spirit for many of you guys and the Ahab spirit and all those different things. If you don't, look it up. Or maybe I'll do a video about it later. But to be a person who wants to have a normal, healthy, stable relationship and you desire to be lusted after. You desire for men to look at you and get their rocks off. You desire as a man to engage in this behavior because you have some kind of deficit in your life. And so now you want to sleep with as many women as possible, hurting people. For you to have the desire is demonic. It's not of God. It comes from Satan. I can guarantee you that. And it happens oftentimes, as I've said, because of a trauma that's deep down. Something that may have happened to you as a child. Maybe you were rejected, you were teased, and you were talked about. And so now I gotta prove it. I gotta prove to everyone that talked about me, said I was ugly, said all these different things, that I can get all these women. I can get these hoes, if you will. And in the process of you getting these hoes, you're destroying your life. You're not living your best life because your identity is placed in your brokenness. Your identity is placed in your rejection. And because of that rejection, you're feeding your rejection with pornography. And because you're feeding it with pornography, you never truly understand love and acceptance. So now when people come to love you, embrace you, and treat you like a like you should be treated, you push them away. Why? Because you have the childhood trauma of rejection. Why? Because you've been molested or raped in your childhood. Folks, I want you guys to be honest. I want you all to be honest, girls, and guys that look at this. Please like, share, and subscribe to this video, to my channel. I want you to be honest about this. I want you to honestly think about the traumas that you have in your life and how it may be affecting your choice in mates. It may be affecting your worldview, the way that you look at other people. I know many women that I've met hate black men. And the reason that they hate black men, and when I was single and I would approach them, they would hate me and I didn't do anything to them because when they were younger, the man that was supposed to look like them called their father was not there, or maybe some uncle molested them, and so now when they see me and I engage in conversation, I don't trust no man. I don't trust a man. What are you going to do differently to me than what was already done by the person I was supposed to trust? It creates a trauma. Many of the guys are used to seeing their fathers in and out of the home, seeing their mothers be whores with multiple kids, whatever the case may be. How am I going to trust you as a woman when my own mama was a whore? So I might as well keep engaging in this behavior. I might as well keep looking at porn because at least when I look at it, keep it 100, at least I get to control the narrative. And that, my friends, is why a lot of people that have been in traumatic situations are bound to it because they want to take their narrative back. And porn, pornography, and masturbation allows them to control their sexuality, if you will, on their own terms. However, what they don't understand is they're truly not doing it on their own terms. They're they're playing into Satan's hands, who has given them these desires to ultimately destroy them, destroy any semblance of love that they might really get in their life, destroy any ability that they might have to connect with another individual, not only on an intimate level, but it may just be on a not only intimacy in terms of sex, but it may just be intimacy in terms of having a business relationship, and able to in order to get that business deal done, and able to get that in order to get that contract signed. You don't trust people because you've had this injury that you've never been healed from, and because of you never been healed from it, you've engaged in this behavior, with porn being a further catalyst to make you go deeper into that said behavior, and because of that, opportunities have passed you by. Or even if you got some of those opportunities, guess what? You don't have peace. So now the world have these little cute sayings that are not true. They'll say more money, more problems. The more money, more problems. That is a lie. If you haven't been delivered, if you have all these different issues with perversions, if you have all these issues with lust, yes, the more money you have, more problems, because you have more opportunities to create the problems for the problems to become attracted to you because you're full of lust, you're full of demons. If you're free, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're free, the opportunities may come, but you're dead to it because you don't have the nature in order to act out on the desires in the first place. The desires are not even there in the first place to act out on. You don't have the catalyst. The catalyst may try to come, but you won't be affected by it, is what I'm trying to say. And so now we hear these cute sayings all these years, this worldly wisdom all these years, and we meditate on it and say, well, the more money, more problems. The the best way to get over some old pee is to get some new pee, and all these different things that you hear. And we built our life on that. We built our life on all men are dogs. We built our life on these women ain't shit, all bees ain't shit, but hoes and tricks, right? We built our life on worldly carnal knowledge, and we don't understand why we get worldly carnal results. Is because our life is not built on the wisdom of God, on the power of the Ra'uk HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit of the living God, and His knowledge on how He says we should conduct ourselves. We haven't built our knowledge on the infallible, which is Him. He's perfect. Christ is perfect, right? Yeshua HaMashiach is perfect. We've built our knowledge on that which is fallible, on that which is perverse, on that which will pass away, right? So again, I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to be honest with yourself. How do you feel knowing that when you watch that porn on TV, that 9 times out of 10, that girl that you're watching and seems so into it was probably raped and molested? How does it feel? How does it feel as a young woman knowing that that guy that's out there being a whore and acting out sexually was probably molested as a child himself, groped on as a child himself, was probably a victim of rejection himself? How does it make you feel? Or are you just more worried about you getting your rocks off? How does it make you feel? Wow. Wow, folks, wow. For more in-depth tips and strategies and a one-on-one individualized coaching, hit me up at support at pornaddictshelp.com. Support at pornaddictshelp.com. If you want self-paced over 5 hours worth of training with the ability to be able to contact me for the coaching, I should have said that in the beginning, go to www.pornaddictshelp.com, www.pornaddictshelp.com, and remember, you too, my friend, can be a victorious overcomer.